Hey guys, welcome back to another Guys Stuff. Today I've got one of my favorite summertime meals. And yes, I have a very similar recipe that you've seen me do on the smoker. However, you know what? When it is just balls hot outside, I don't feel like tending a smoker or a grill for hours on end, especially if it's raining and you have to haul the thing under cover. Crockpots are so convenient. This is also great. You don't even have to be home. You can set this thing, prep it. It's really simple. It's going to take about 15 minutes total. You put the lid on, 8 or 9 hours later, you're eating. It's super easy. This is great for me because I work from home. I'm making it here in the morning. It's about 5 o'clock, and it'll be ready in the afternoon for dinner. All right, so you're looking at basically the only prep, and that is dicing a couple large white onions. Now, I'm using a large crock pot. If you're using a smaller one, just cut all the quantities here in half. But what I get is the largest pork shoulder butt roast that I can find. Usually it's going to be 9+ pounds. All right, you want it nice and big because we're going to trim this real lean, and a couple pounds are coming right off in pure fat. So you're left with 3.5 pound roasts, really, which is the normal size for a smaller crock pot. And make sure you don't get the picnic. It has to be the shoulder. It's going to be bone in, may say extra tender, doesn't really mean much. They've just injected it. But the point is, you want the shoulder cut. Okay, it works really well. You can have basically one slab of fat that you cut off in one nice solid chunk, and then just a little bit of trimming on the other side, and it's good to go. Super easy. And it's tender enough to cut here. It's just no big deal. Dice the onions as fine as you can because you want these to melt away. You don't want chunks of onion, and these are just the right size. These will just disappear into the sauce, believe me. Now, I have done my own rubs for years, but you know what? I just keep coming back to this for the crock pot. It's these super inexpensive little packets from McCormick, just for BBQ pulled pork, and these just form the basis of the flavor. I used 2 of them for this large roast, but don't follow the directions on the back of that. You get a pretty tasteless sandwich. I kick it up. What I use is half a bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. You can also use their sweet, and what do they call it, the sweet and spicy, something like that. That's also very good. But you know what? Doing it this way, it comes out the same because I also add crushed red peppers. I'm going to use about a 1/4 cup of those. Do that to taste. They're not super hot, but my wife is going to have some of this, and she hates spicy food. So that's just enough to give it that little bit of flavor kick. It's not super hot. You could put hot sauce in it. You could put cayenne pepper powder in it if you wanted to. But I'm going for more of a balance of sweet and spicy. I'm going to put in a few cloves worth of minced garlic, again to taste, that's certainly optional. And I'm using 1 cup of brown sugar. You can use light or dark. I don't find it makes much of a difference whatsoever when doing a sauce like this. If I'm doing it as a rub, I'll typically use the dark anyway, but a lot of people use the light for sauces. I can't tell the difference, especially with all the nice spiciness going on. And that's about it. So all we have to do, can't forget the vinegar. I'm going to use 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. So we're going to mix everything together in a big bowl, trim this up, put the meat in, pour everything off, put the lid on. 9 hours later, on low, it's going to be good to go. Meat's trimmed up and ready. Sauce is mixed up real well. Now we're just going to put it in, get it on low, and that'll be it for 9 hours. If you're doing a half, 8 hours would probably be good. Now, if you're in a rush, you can do it on high for 4 to 5 hours. It's darn close, but if you've got the extra time, definitely do it on low. It's just that extra bit of tenderness coming through. Okay, 9 hours later, we are done. We're going to kick off our heat. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this depending on how you like your meat and sauce combo. You can see that it's got quite a bit in here. Didn't look like it going in, did it? But those onions all melted away. Now that is mostly meat. It's not just a soup or anything like that. Let me set this aside real quick. Okay, now you can, if you like it sopping wet, shred this right here in the pan. All you need are a couple forks. And here's another tip. Test it before you're done. It should just absolutely fall apart with zero effort, just like this. Okay, it's just, you can't pick this up. At least not with a fork. Alright, so you can shred this right in here, and that's how I'm going to do it. If you prefer your meat drier, you can very carefully maybe try a couple wooden spoons or a couple spatulas, lift the meat chunks out, put them in a dish, drain out the sauce, put the meat back in, and then shred it, and add sauce to taste. But believe me, this is so much easier. And you can just use some tongs and pull it out. So I'm going to go ahead and shred this right now. And there we go. Enjoy, guys.